Hey guys, so I decided to finally create this video. I went to Iceland last October 2016 and now it's March and I haven't made the video, so here it is. So when I was on my trip, I was writing notes of, tips and tricks to when you plan a trip to go to Iceland, because I feel like, now that I've experienced 10 days there, I'm more informative. And, till now I keep getting questions like, hey, I'm planning to go on a trip to Iceland. Like, what did you bring? Like, how was it there? And now I feel like I can create this video. And I compiled, all these, things that I want to share with you guys. And also another thing is, like, so for example, next week I'm going to Barcelona and Paris and I never been there, and I'm watching these type of videos and they all are like just explaining like what they're gonna wear, and it's like that's nice and all, but what's important is, like, for someone like me who lives in America, it's like I want to know the essentials, what is there to look out for. I don't necessarily need to know what you're going to wear, despite if we're going the same time and season, then maybe to get an idea, but what's important to me are, other things. So this video that I'm making right now is just to explain to you guys, like, really important tips and tricks that I learned when I went to Iceland that I feel like could benefit you if you're planning your first trip there, because these are things that I didn't know, and now that I learned that, next time when I do go, I am more aware now. Tip number 1. So I flew using WOW Air, and when I tell people that my round trip flight ticket was like $300, people are like, whoa, that's so cheap. And yeah, that is cheap, but these European airlines get you with luggage, because you're only limited by a certain amount of size and weight, and it's really tiny. Like a carry-on size for us, Americans here, like for them is like it's a full-on check-in luggage, unless you're gonna pay the extra. And so, my friends and I, when we went to Iceland, I literally brought a carry-on size like luggage and a book bag, and that was it. And that was supposed to last me for 10 days in Iceland. So luckily for us, we'd have to find like a washing machine and a dryer, and even sometimes the dryer wouldn't completely dry our clothes, so we would have to put the clothes on our heater wherever we were staying. So that's another tip. And that's just how we would just keep reusing clothes. And as a photographer, it's so important to take amazing photos with different outfits. But I was like, whatever. The background, the landscape, because Iceland's so picturesque. Like, you could take a picture like anywhere and it looks amazing. And I just was like, I don't even care what I wear anymore, as long as the picture looks cool. So that's that. I read reviews about WOW Air, and I didn't go through any hard problems or trouble. It was pretty easy. I downloaded the WOW Air app, so that was really fast for me to just like go through TSA and then just like wait at the gate. I didn't have to go through any people anymore about checking in and stuff like that. So that was easy. And then that's when I guess they didn't check like what size my luggage was and all that. They only did that in the end. I think, no, not even. They did that in the beginning when I flew out of DC, and then I went to Iceland. And that was the only time they ever weighed and my bag, but everything else they never weighed my bag at all. So there goes that. When it comes to bringing cards, meaning credit cards, debit cards, my advice to you is to make sure that you check that your bank doesn't charge you for like extra fees, doing any kind of transactions in a foreign country. So I had Chase, and I found out that they charge you 3% every time you did some transaction, and I'm like, what? So I made a new bank account with TD Bank, and they don't have any foreign exchange fees, so it's like every time you just swipe, it's like, not a big deal. You just like they would just convert it to USD with Icelandic krona money, and that was it. No problem anymore. So, and also let your banks know that you are flying, that you're going somewhere, because you don't want them to like decline you because they think it's fraud, because they're like, why is this person getting charged in Iceland? Like, you're like in New Jersey. So there goes that. When it comes to phone, I have T-Mobile, and as much as people make fun of T-Mobile, T-Mobile has this deal where it's like, as long as you're in this 100 country list, like any of the 100 countries on their list, you have unlimited text and internet. 20 cents per minute for phone call. So it was cool because like all my the friends that I was with and me, we all had T-Mobile, so we were able to just text each other if ever we were like separated for whatever reason, and we could just contact each other that way. But if we did need to make a phone call, my friend had Skype, and yeah, you would have to use money, but that was our way of making like a phone call. I know a lot of people use WhatsApp. I'm going to learn how to use WhatsApp for my trip next week to Europe, so we'll see how that goes. So I really can't give tips, but I heard as long as the person has WhatsApp also, it's a free phone text call app. So I don't know why I assume that everyone speaks English in general. Yeah, everyone speaks a different language at their countries, but I feel like you'll be bound to find someone who speaks English. And people in Iceland speak another language, but everyone that we've encountered from restaurant, cafes, museums, everywhere on the street, they speak English, so you will not have a problem. Yes, most of the places that you will be going to, you cannot even pronounce it. Like, don't even try. Even the waterfalls have these crazy names, and I just I don't even try, because I hate butchering names. So that is not in English, but everyone speaks English. Mostly that I've never really encountered anyone who says I can't speak English, unless they're a tourist that doesn't belong there. But yeah, so when it comes to renting a car, so we rented a car, so because we traveled around the whole country in 10 days, and we saw that people advised to go from south and then around this way, but we did the opposite. Why did we do the opposite? It just seemed much easier for us. So we started from Reykjavik, the capital, and then we just went around. I guess it's just how we planned it, like the places we stayed. And I honestly advise that way too, because so when we went up north, it was better, because I actually liked the north because it was just more peaceful, and there's not that many tourists, and it's like, yeah, it's more cold up there because you're going up north, and it was snowing and all that stuff, but it wasn't bad. And then when you go south, it's like all the tourists are there. It's like going to Times Square, but like in nature, and I didn't enjoy it at all. The places that we saw were beautiful, but it was just like compact with people. So when you rent a car, make sure it's an all-wheel drive, because weather condition there, it changes. Like, you can go from one place that's like really rocky and it's just like strong winds, to snow, to like nice weather. It's always changing, so you want a car that can go through all of those weather conditions. And when it comes to using a driving navigation app, in America I always use Google Maps, and I always see that when I fly like somewhere else, or I'm in another country, they always use Waze. And I honestly think that Waze is better, just because like there's a whole community that it's like they all inform you in case there's like a pothole or there's like a camera and all these police. It's very informative, much more than Google Maps. Google even sometimes messes you up and brings you somewhere that you didn't want to go to, so download Waze. And on hiking, which I you know, promise you you'll end up hiking because you'd want to take a picture with a waterfall or something like that. You'll see a ton of waterfalls, but they all are like unique in their own way. So they're not like, you know, you might eventually say that you're tired of looking at a waterfall, but to me, I just feel like each and every waterfall we've encountered always had some slight different memory to it. So whether it's like you could go behind it, you could see a rainbow, it's like, they're just different things. So buy hiking boots. You know, my friends, like, they brought like Docs, and you know, I was gonna bring my Tims, and I heard that like those are not legit, you know, hiking boots. But I actually went to like a sports store that sells like winter gear and stuff, and I literally told the guy, I'm like, hey, I'm going to Iceland, I don't know what boots to wear or whatever. So he recommended me these like boots. It helped me a lot. They were weatherproof. It helped me from like like hiking mountains to glacier hiking to all of that. Especially if you're glacier hiking, you need boots or you have to rent it. And for me, I just was like, you know what, let me just bring a pair of boots that I'm gonna wear throughout the whole trip, and it just helped me and saved me money from renting boots. So there you go. Reykjavik, you know, the last day we had 2 days, and it was pretty cool because like I got to walk around there by myself, looking around and taking photos, and you know, meeting local people because it was the music festival that time, and buying souvenirs there. Okay, so money wise, America, so for example, I go to coffee shops all the time. You buy like a mocha, a latte, or food, or whatever, it's literally double the price. So a latte be $4, it's $8 there. It's crazy. I was like, a hot chocolate is $8 for something I can buy at, you know, Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or any of the other places. Also, oh yeah, speaking of brands, the only brand I recognized there was probably Domino's and Subway, and that was like the sandwich place, and that was in Reykjavik. Everywhere else are all like mom and pop places, which is really cool, you know, support small businesses. But don't expect to see any fast food joint. Didn't see any McDonald's or anything like that. It's definitely try new things, try the food, the local food over there. Plan to go to a Blue Lagoon. We went at a time when it felt like a hurricane. It was like wind, it was like sleet, it was like all these things. It's not like some people who experience like a sunny day going to the Blue Lagoon. So if you're planning to go to a hot spring, my advice to you is bring your own towel because they charge you for that. You know, it was cool because you get your own like locker, it's electronic, you scan it with your wristband, all that jazz. My other thing is, no matter how much conditioner you put in your hair is gonna feel like straw if you dip your hair in that Blue Lagoon. There's so much chemicals in it or whatever's in it, and my hair till this day is dry, and I want to cut my hair off because it's just like no matter how much treatment I put at the hair salon and stuff, it's still like straw. And the people that I spoke to at the hostel who experienced the Blue Lagoon all agree with me. So, you know, I would wear like a shower cap or just put my hair up and never let it touch the freaking water, because it's really, you know, meant to like, you know, help your skin and stuff, but not your hair. Not your hair whatsoever. It's going to make your hair feel like straw. So keep a lookout. So the thermostat is like a dial. So, you know, for us, we have like a button on the wall or something like that, but literally it's like next to the heater or whatever, there's like a thermostat dial, so you have to turn it like that. The water smells, so you know you're in a city that has a hot spring when you're driving through the city and it smells like fart. I'm serious. When you go to a geyser or anything like that, the water, the geothermic whatever, it just smells really bad. Like, it's beautiful to take pictures and all, but it smells bad. So keep a lookout if you're like, why does it smell like fart? Or also if you stay at a hostel or Airbnb and you're in a city that has a hot spring, the water, it's good to drink and everything, but it smells like fart. So it's gonna make you not want to drink the water. The Airbnb, the hostels are from IKEA. Hold on, let's repeat that again. So most of the places that we stayed at, like Airbnb or hostels, their furniture is all from IKEA, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, it was just, whoa, I've never seen like everyone's furniture from IKEA. Bring a micro cloth to clean your camera lens because it fogs up like crazy, especially if you're in cold conditions. So just letting you know. Thing is push first for the door, so I guess you push the door first. Don't expect to pull the door. At the front, at the restaurants, I'm not used to that. I think also other international countries, like I mean any other country than America does this, but in America it's like you're at a diner, you're sitting there, you're waiting for the waitress to give you the check, whatever. But in Iceland you have to go up to them and pay, you know, split the check and stuff like that, or pay the check. So that's how it works. You rent a car. Someone advised us this, and it was such a good recommendation, is to buy a gas card, because sometimes the gas stations don't take whatever card you're using. So it's just better to go to the gas station, go to, you know, the convenience store, tell them you want to buy a gas card, and you know, give them the amount, they give you the gas card, you get the gas, call it a day, you know, use again when you're at some other gas station. It's just way more convenient than using your card and it telling you in Iceland, we can't accept it, because there's no English on the gas, there's no English wording on the gas machine. You know, us New Jersey people, we don't pump gas, so I don't know how else, place to eat, where to go. So Iceland, they don't use Yelp. Yelp doesn't even exist. You click on the Yelp app and it's like, yeah, we're not in your country. So they use TripAdvisor. So if you need to look at reviews to go anywhere, you know, use TripAdvisor. Okay, so lastly, which was one of my favorite things to go to in Iceland, was the abandoned airplane that's over there. So I just, like, you know, quickly Googled it just so you know, like, what I'm talking about. So if you plan to go here, on TripAdvisor, we looked it up the night before, and we weren't gonna even go anymore after we saw what people commented. So long story short, it used to be accessible to tourists, but then the private owners were, you know, upset because people were, you know, not appreciating and treating it as nice as I guess they thought they would. So they closed it off with it's like a chain. So anyways, my friend who was with me, you know who you are, he was like, yeah, I don't think we should go because I am not down to walk an hour and a half there. That is what people were commenting. And it's like they would say that they encountered like strong winds and stuff, and obviously I would not want to go there either. However, I was like, you know, luckily we compromised and we're just like, okay, we're gonna go there, we're gonna see like if we can go through, you know, or not, and if it's worth it or whatever, because we had like 5 other places that we wanted to go to. So luckily when we were there, the chain was down. I don't know who did it, I don't know, but we went through, and from an hour and a half walk, we got there through the car with the car in 5 minutes, and it was insane. And then I climbed it, even though it probably disrupts a bunch of people's photos, but I mean, whatever, it was totally worth it. I was struggling trying to figure out how to climb it because I just saw it on Instagram, and I was just like, there's no way people Photoshop themselves here. But yeah, see, like, I freaking, oh my god, you can't even see it. Fail. So yeah, let's see, can you focus, camera? Not on me. So yeah, I like totally climbed this. This is not Photoshop. I literally climbed here and up. Miracle. Didn't like depend on some dude to help me or whatever. But yeah, I was happy that I was able to do it. However, when we went back to exit, the chain was back and there was like a line of cars who got in, including us, and we had to wait till someone broke the chain just so we could like leave the place. So there's that trick. I don't know if you go that the chain will be down again, but keep a lookout, or else you're gonna have to walk an hour and a half to get there. And it looked like a long walk, but obviously when you're in a car, you're just like, oh, that was it. Like, it didn't seem that bad. But like I said, that was worth it for me. And that's pretty much it. Those are my tips and tricks. It's really safe, and that we never had to worry about you know, people like stealing stuff or whatever like that. People are very nice and kind there. Oh, and when it comes to Northern Lights, okay, so another long story short, so I feel like people photograph it obviously, and they definitely Photoshop the colors to saturate it and make it look more, you know, vibrant and colorful than it really is. So like we saw it like 3 times, and we've encountered people at hostels and stuff who have been trying to see the northern lights, and like they like never saw it in their whole trip, and I felt really bad. So our trip, we were using this website where like you could like see the forecast if wherever place you're like located, if the northern lights, the possibility of you seeing it. So we saw it 3 times, and it was pretty cool. There was one time like we were in a hot spring and we saw it like really clear. I was just like blown out of my mind because of how clear it was. So there are times where it looks really realistic as how you see in photos. It's just as like vibrant it is, but sometimes it's really faint, and you just got to Photoshop it and like make it look even brighter than it is. I'm just gonna show you really quick. So let's see. So this was a day when I was at the hot spring, and you know, and it really looked like that. Like I like probably like, you know, brightened it a little bit, but it literally looked like that in real life, and that was insane. So yeah, most of my pictures that are on my Instagram from Iceland was literally self-timer. I'm not playing. Like you know, I'm very particular when it comes to taking photos. I'm like serious. So this was literally all self-timer, like me, and luckily a car light was like facing my way, so it like brightened me here. But yeah, it was like awesome. And when we went glacier hiking, there was a bunch of people that were with us on the glacier hike, and it was Halloween that day, so they were dressed up looking like they have you know, makeup on and stuff, and so it was pretty cool. It was pretty epic. Like I said, like each waterfall is like different. You like, there's the secret lagoon. It's not a secret anymore if everyone's like going there, if you get what I mean. But yeah, but overall it was really fun. So I highly recommend to go to Iceland. It was definitely worth it. If you guys have any other questions, just comment below, and talk to you guys soon. Can't wait to tell you guys about my next trip. Okay, bye.